Hello, good afternoon. My name is Andrea Reger, and please join coming in to this afternoon masterclass, the Zen Zone, how to stay calm and sane naturally while thriving in corporate. This is what we're going to talk about this afternoon. We are live, so we are waiting. A couple of more people said they would be joining, and some of you already ask me if I could send you the recordings afterwards, so that's not a problem at all. I'm happy to share the recordings of this video, so that's why we are recording it, so more people can receive this message, more people will be able to learn how to deal with stressful situations naturally. So we are going to start in a few seconds. Let's see if anybody else is joining live, and they might join as we are going along, or they watch the recordings. That's not a problem at all. I just want to make sure that everything is okay. So I see somebody online. If you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat box that you can hear me and see me fine, and you can see my screen as well, that would be much appreciated. So I would know that you are good. Okay, thank you. Okay, so first of all, I just like to open this afternoon's masterclass with a lovely quote from Michelle Obama. Every day you have a power to choose a better history by opening your hearts and minds, by speaking up for what you know is right. So this is, as I mentioned, the first out of the 6 master classes I am planning to do between now and Christmas. And today I'm sharing the secrets of how to stay calm and sane naturally while thriving in corporate without using any harmful stimulants or medications or reaching burnout, because actually reaching burnout is pretty much a common thing that I have seen, experienced, and I have also seen on other people as well. So please join. You're all welcome. Everybody is joining. That's no problem. Thank you so much for being here. You are so lucky to have an access to this information that I'm so happy to share with you today. So yeah, please just join whenever you are ready. So as I mentioned, this is the first class, and to introduce myself, my name is Andrea Reger. I am a licensed homeopath now. I finished a 4-year professional course with Irish School of Homeopathy. Just a couple of months ago, I graduated. And before that, I obtained a master's degree in human resource management back in 2013. And my first degree was in teaching in 2001, basically in Hungary, where I'm originally from. I've been living here in Ireland for 18 years now. And in addition to all the academic achievements and everything, the background in the professional side, I also have a family, husband, kids, parents, sister, lots of friends, colleagues, and now I have clients and patients as well. So I am very lucky to have such a rich circle. And hopefully today, this circle is going to be even richer by you, and your circle is going to be richer by everything else that you're going to take away with you today. So again, you are so very welcome. I hope you will enjoy this presentation, and also you will take away knowledge and experience after this class. So just a little bit more about myself, so who I am. You know my name, right? And you know where I'm from and what kind of academic achievements I've made. But you also need to know that I'm highly multi-passionate individual, and that's why I found extremely difficult to work in recruiting only, which I did for over like 12 years. But I have so many other passions, I have so many other interests, and it's so funny when I graduated from high school at age of almost 19, 18 back then, I told my parents, that's it, I'm never going to study ever again, leave me alone. And funnily, I can't stop studying and self-developing myself ever since, because I just love exploring more about life and how it can be viewed from a different perspective, and why somebody thinks about the same thing, the same situation, completely differently than I do. It's just so magical. And this is exactly what I would love to do, is explore this magic even more and share my experience and knowledge with other people. So I have always helped other people along my career and my life. Ever since the very beginning, I worked in customer service, but then I organized different parties, events, birthday parties, family gatherings. Then I worked on Ryanair aircraft, right, Europe's biggest airline. For 3 years, I was serving passengers on board the aircraft. And then I became the head of recruiting in Ryanair, and I served over 5 years there. So I really focused on serving people in my whole life. And after Ryanair, when I had my two kids, I moved over to the technology industry. And over there, I kept making people's dream come through in terms of their career and finances. But around, and I will tell you more about that, 2016, so 6, 7 years ago, something changed in my life, and I started expanding my view and expanding my helping and offerings to other people as well. And it started with my son, my father, and myself. So, but that's what I have always been doing, helping others. But what do I do now? So, I was a recruiter at some stage over 12 years, but now I call myself a happiness and wellness coach, a mentor, a teacher, a leader, an organizer. So, truly a holistic support that I'm here. And the living example as well, by the way, that you can start implementing small changes into your life, and that actually over time can grow into a lot bigger thing. So just a little bit about, I mentioned the date 2016. So how did I get here today talking about this topic? 2016 was a very difficult year in my life. We received 3 diagnoses. One was for my son, one was in relation to my father's health, and one was in relation to my own health. So I always lived and worked in a very fast-paced, highly stressful corporate environment for 16 years, and actually even more, because it started even before I relocated to Ireland. And you know what? It felt good, because it was like, who doesn't like if they are needed? Like, we love to be needed. And I always, when people need me and somebody is always actually sicker than me, and I just have to work harder and put more hours in it, and I just need to learn more and just have more stuff and so on. And in 2016, my flight, fight, freeze mode, which is the chronic state, was just so normal baseline of my life. I didn't even realize something was not quite right. Despite my body started throwing off so many things, so many symptoms, so many signs that I just couldn't pay attention to. I was just so busy living that hectic life. And when my son received the diagnosis of being ASD, like autistic, or he is still on the autistic spectrum disorder, then it started hitting me, okay, something needs to change, because those medications that, to my knowledge, that time was available, nowhere near will go to my son as long as I live. That's what I promised to myself. And that was the point when I sat down in front of a computer and Googled how else I can help, what other options out there. And that's how I come across different alternative supports and alternative options over time. And I needed to do my own research. And it took me a lot of time, a lot of investment, and a lot of money as well until we found a solution. And of course, I have my father as well, because it took like 4 years. It was a very gradual, slow progress of his disease, and I needed to be with him. So asking for less stress, it was just so not realistic wish. Like, it was, I was in there. I needed to cope with that. I was on promotion all the time, working towards a qualification, a career advancement. I always volunteered to be part of different projects, and that was my career side. And at home, I had an autistic son waiting for me to help him, and a dying father. And never mind my own symptoms, which I didn't care too much about because my doctors told me I had to be on medication for the rest of my life, and I accepted as a given. Give it to me, and that was it. And I took it. Never questioned whether or not it would be working or is there any other solution for me. Me was my last priority in the whole thing. And of course, it just can't last. And that's where the second date comes in, 2021, when I realized asking for less problem, less stress is not realistic. I need better solution, better tools, better techniques. And yes, my search started back in 2016. But when 2021, I received massive burnout, I couldn't get out of bed one day. I was like, I need to step up. I need more help. And back then, I was already a second-year student in the Irish School of Homeopathy, so I knew a little bit about the homeopathic remedies, and they could help me to an extent. But then I always hit the brick wall, and I was like, what's going on? Why is it not working? And it started dawning on me that I had a lot of maintaining goals, and remedy can help as much. And in order for the remedy to help fully, you have to clear the way. It's like a boxer who gets, punched every night and shows up in the emergency room for stitches. And he gets the stitches, the bleeding stops and goes back to the arena straight away, gets another punch, and the wound opens again. So that's pretty much what was happening to me. Got the remedy, it was fine. And then again, another punch with an alcohol, a party, a food choice, stress, everything and anything that's part of pretty much everybody's life, I guess, the normal life these days. But hopefully not yours going forward. So that's why I thought, why not to bring this into you and tell my experience and my knowledge and teach you how to deal with those kind of situations. So you don't need to wait 7 years or go through this yourself. So first of all, we will cover understanding the source. Where is the stress coming from and the pressure? Why do we feel under so much pressure in our 40s and so on in our life? What's going on here? And also I will introduce to you 3 natural tools and techniques that you can use anytime and anywhere, completely legally, in order to ease and manage your stress and the situations that cause you stress. And I will also show you the top 3 homeopathic remedies, which are completely natural and again legal, so you can take them anytime when you feel under pressure, and that would help you to give you a little bit of breathing space. And towards the end of this class, I'm also going to tell you some solutions, the next steps, and also what kind of gifts and bonuses I have for you in my bag. And if you have any questions, you can ask them at the end of the presentation, or feel free to put it in the chat box. And at the end, I will go back to the chat box and I will do my very best to answer. Okay, so I just mentioned that the reason why I do this masterclass, because I can help. I have the experience and the knowledge. And the other reason is that I wish somebody like me today would have come to me in 2016 or even 2021 and give this information toolbox to me. And I can do that, so why not? And it's completely free. I'm so happy and delighted. I just love doing that for all of you. And the other reason is that I like to raise awareness of what is really going on, and awareness of things that I think we should talk more about. It's not really talking enough about. For example, high blood pressure, like stress causes obviously a feedback, a reaction in your body. And if you're stressed, your blood pressure will elevate. And this is normal if it's an acute situation before your performance or a presentation or something that you really need to focus on an exam. but not normal when it's constantly on and it becomes chronic. And the high blood pressure is the number one contributor to the cardiovascular diseases, which is still the leading cause of death in the whole world. Not just right now, as I said, but it has been for some time. And everything that gives you, high blood pressure on a long run would give cause damage to your cardiovascular system over time. And cardiovascular system could be like heart attack or stroke or heart failure. And funny thing is that we damaging our cardiovascular system without being aware of that, because in addition to stress, the unhealthy diet choices and the lack of exercise also contribute factors to the heart disease. So I'd like to show you this annual number of deaths chart just very briefly, and I will zoom on that. So back in 2016, the cardiovascular diseases were the leading reason, the leading cause of death in the world, and cancer was the second. So I really, really appreciate and love everything that they do about raising awareness about different cancers, and I'm one of the advocates of that, especially the bowel cancers. But if you pay attention, like half of people died in 2016 because of cancer in comparison to heart diseases. And still, I don't think we speak enough of the cardiovascular diseases. Another statistical detail, it's from 2022, so it's more recent, but it only pertains to the United States. I just wanted to show you that this hasn't changed, right? It's still the heart diseases that's the leading cause of death. And COVID-19 is down the list, number 4. And how many times you have heard about COVID-19 in the past few years? And how many times you have heard about how to prevent heart diseases and what you need to do about stress management or healthy diet or exercises. So there's a lot of things that you and me and people as a ripple effect around us can do about raising awareness how important it is to manage stress naturally. And now I'd like to move on and present you the sources of stress. So why are we stressed? Where is the stress coming from, right? So the stress is coming from so many different sources. In the last couple of weeks, I've spoken to over a dozen people. I conducted market research and I was wondering about a few things, and they all shared with me that they did experience stress at some stage in their life. And honestly, I believe that everybody experienced stress at the workplace at some stage in their life. And if they didn't, maybe they just were not aware of that. That's what I think. But you can let me know in the chat what you think. Have you ever stress? Have you ever experienced stress in workplace in your life? And in my years at the workplace in my 30s, there was a period of over 7 years when I wasn't even aware I was so stressed. I only realized it after I had left and reflected back on those years. I was like, oh my God, I was bullied, I was verbally harassed, and I was under so much stress and tension. And it was so part of my everyday habit, routine, and dynamic. It didn't even occur to me back then how sad it is, right? Also in the workplace, whomever I spoke to, they all confirmed that they had an argument with a colleague, or some of them have had difficult managers. What if you are in customer service, who hasn't had a difficult client or a customer in their lives? So we all experience some sort of stress during our work years. Another source of stress is that we females, and this is what the people I've spoken to confirm to me as well, they feel they have to work twice as hard, at least, than their male colleagues and peers, because they feel as being a woman, they need to prove that they are more worthy for promotion or even keeping their jobs. And about the accent, so I told you I'm from Hungary, so I will never lose my accent, which is now fine. After 18 years, I kind of made a, um, happiness with that. Like I'm okay with that. But at the beginning, I wasn't. I was trying to hide it. And people with accent, people whose English is not their first language, told me and confirmed the same beliefs that I had, that because they hear I'm a non-English speaking, native English speaker, I still have to prove myself twice as hard, that I'm worthy and I still can think and I still have a logical mind and I still, get it, and I can go forward, move forward, and have the career that I want, or it's a good match. And the list can continue. I obviously haven't put everything over here, but if you think about females in with color, like that's a huge topic on its own, and also the gender question. So again, we can make a whole masterclass on this topic only. So moving on and seeing where else stress can come from when you hit the big milestone of 40 and you're a female. So obviously you heard about premenopausal, menopausal time in your life. So that means that you could have hot flushes, unresting sleeps, brain fog, migraine, fatigue, and so on. People are experiencing menopause different ways, but these are very typical signs and symptoms. So you need to prove yourself again even harder when you know, and you can be so preoccupied not knowing when that hot flush will come on and when you won't be able to sleep well at night. Maybe it's before your big presentation or sales pitch, and that gives you an extra layer of stress which you don't need, and we can help with that. That's the good news. Family issues, especially after the pandemic. I know a lot of people around me who have difficulties with their partners, with their kids, and not to mention the parents, the elderly parents, all the help that you need to provide, or your friends and families. Everybody has the issues, the challenges that they are dealing with right now. And once you hit that milestone of 40, more and more people start realizing or start getting some sort of signs and symptoms from their body and the health issues coming to the surface. You're lucky if you don't have any, and that's the good thing, to maintain what you have. But if you do, it's kind of gives you a reality check, what's going on and where is the tendency going and what can you do about that? Is this really I just have to, accept, or can I do something about that to maybe slow down the progression of any disease that one might have at that age? Again, the list continues. The outside world, like I don't have to mention to you how stressful it is right now out there. The war in Ukraine, the housing crisis in Ireland, the increasing prices, the artificial intelligence. This is all uncertain. We feel insecure. Is our job secure? Will I be fired over a machine? What's going on? We don't really know. But this is something that's outside of our control. So again, it is something you can learn how to do, how to cope with things that are inside your control, and how to let things go that are outside of your control. The recent pandemic, you can argue whether or not it was good or bad. Obviously, there were lots of sad consequences of the pandemic, but people faced the mortality and faced the truth that we are going to die one day. And this is something that you need to do. And when you pass over 40 and more, you start losing more and more people around you. That again hits that this is now my time to step up and do something for my health. And it's so funny because we don't like to talk about that, do we? It's not our favorite topic. Everybody tries to avoiding it, or just make a joke out of that, or be sarcastic about that. But this is big. And facing that when I will need help with my own health is that help gonna be available? Can I really rely on that help that's available? Well, for example, here in Ireland, people realize that the current health system is very limited and it's very rigid and segmented. And when you need help and so many other people need help at the same time, where are you going to be in that priority? So maybe it's better to avoid being in that situation and try to do something about it now when you can. So the good news is I have solutions for you. I have recommendations what you can do right here, right now. So quitting your job so you won't be stressed anymore. Is that an option? Well, it's not an option for most of the people, which is fine because obviously you need to pay bills and you need to get on with your life. The reason why I quit my job, and I did, because I had a very, very strong reason. I had actually two. One was my own health. I suffered so much that I knew that if I continue living like I was living, my life trajectory wouldn't be too long. And secondly, as I mentioned, I was so focused on career advice and career coaching. I really felt that I had a lot more to offer to the world and other people and then help them in a holistic way. So I needed to make a hard decision and do a U-turn and leave that corporate world behind for my own sake and for the others, for yours and your sake. And another possible solution, which by the way works magic in the moment, on the day, it's numbing the pain, it's suppressing it. Take an antidepressant, take a painkiller, take a hormonal pill, alcohol, cigarette, anything and everything that can numb what you feel, can put you in a different world and just forget about your problems. Magic, magic in the moment, magic on the day. But what are the consequences for next day or the next week, next month, next year, and so on? So the compound effect, either a good or a bad habit, leads into a completely different destination. And that's what you need to think about it when you next time make a decision. And for me, it was easy. I made one decision and I just line up to that one decision every time when I'm in a situation. So these are the things that you might know, but it might not be a good option for you right now. But what you can do is stay calm at work. Learn how to stay calm at work. Find healthy ways to release the stress. Stress needs to be let go, not suppressed, not ignored. Just let go. Let stress to come and goodbye. Go. Managing tense and difficult people, it's a skill. It's a skill that you can learn how to do it. It's not something that we all born with. It's something that we acquire over years of experience and practice, 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 practice. So every time when you meet a difficult person, tell them it's another opportunity to practice how to deal with difficult people. Healthy diet, it's more important. It's probably so boring hearing about a healthy diet. And again, it's a standalone topic on its own because you never know these days which is healthy and which is not. Basically, everything is unhealthy these days, right? So, but I'm staying here and I'm trying to coach people on just make the best decision you can in that moment. Okay, we cannot be 100%. We are living in a given country with a given resources, but make the best decision you can. And what is in your control, what is in the circle of your influence is exercise. Move your body. And the 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour every single day, moving your body. And I'm not talking about the excessive running a sprint for an hour. That's actually the opposite of what you need. It's more like the relaxing, like if you don't like yoga, that's fine, but yoga is very good. Like stretching, getting to know your boundaries, your physical body, your emotional body, and connect them with your mental body. This is where the secret lies. Okay, so what can you do? I give you now 3 exact examples and methods, what you can do there on the spot when you experience stress. So you are in the workplace, maybe in a conference meeting room, or you could be actually behind a computer at home working from home. So what you do is when you experience stress, you can ground yourself. Grounding yourself has a higher and greater calming experience, calming effect than you would think. So first of all, you can take your shoes off, and if you can, sit down on the ground. And sitting down on the ground with your bare feet gives you the feeling of being supported and connected to Mother Earth. And you feel when you touch the ground how greatly firm it is, and how well you are held, and how well you are supported. And if you can do that, but you are sitting, make sure that your two legs are actually hitting the ground. They are not crossed. Most people, and it's fine, they like to look smart, and it is very professional as well. And for us, females, girls, we were taught how to look nice and how to sit and cross the legs, right? But that's not good for your mental health. So when you're experiencing that moment of stress, the first thing what you can do, put your legs down. The second thing you can do is to breathe. We are undermining the power of breathing. All females, including myself, actually guilty of shallow breathing. What we do is most of times, we are breathing like that. And obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit this movement to demonstrate, but this is where we breathe. And have you ever experienced anxiety attack or panic attack? But this is what's happening. Over here, the air stocks up here. And what you need to do is you need to consciously bring the air down to your body. There's a lot more space here around your chest area. So you need to bring it deeper down. Deep breathing to your stomach, trying to keep the shoulders at the same position. And how do you know you do that right? If you put your hands to your ribs and the ribs are going sideways, you know you're doing it well and right. That's the right way. And it's so easy to practice when you're actually lying down on your back, because in this position, you're naturally breathing the right way. So try it at home. When you lay down, put your hands to your ribs, and for 5 minutes, set the alarm for 5 minutes, and just breathe into your ribs, into your lungs, into your tummy. And if you can develop a habit of doing that twice a day for 5 minutes only, once in the morning and once in the evening, you're actually going to help yourself naturally breathing so well that would keep your nervous system in an optimum level as much as you can. And if you can remember that when you're in such stressful situation and bring this on, it's obviously a magic on its own. An extra information and recommendation when it comes to breathing is that when you breathe through the left nostril, so you close your right nostril and you breathe in through your left nostril and out in the same way. With that, you activate the right side of your brain. And the right side of your brain is actually where you can naturally release different hormones to calm your nervous system down. And that's the side of the brain that activates the creativity and the calmness, the relaxation, the imagination. And whenever you can do this for 5 minutes, you might not be able to do that when the camera is on and you are online, but you either can switch off your camera, or when the meeting is over and in your workplace, you go to the toilet or wherever you can close the door with the two legs on the ground and closing your right and just breathe through your left nostril. For 5 minutes, if you do that, your nervous system gets the message that it's okay. You are safe. so things can calm down. Okay, and the last but not least tip today is homeopathy. So I'd like to cover homeopathy now in a bit of more details because you might not know what homeopathy is. Let me know in the chat box if you have ever heard about homeopathy. Is it something that you heard about or used, or heard what is it good for? So basically it's a holistic approach. Cures like approach, considering a person as a whole. So it treats the individual rather than a single organ or a diagnosed disease. When I went to a gastroenterologist for the first time and they were only interested in my bowel movements, I was like, okay, but what about my thoughts? What about my heart? What about my throat? What about the trauma I went on last night or something? They were like, no, but how is your digestion? I was like, fine, but why are you just interested in that? Also, if you go to the ear doctor, they will only ask about your ear problems. When did it start? Where does it hurt? And they might do some ear examination. But they would never do or never ask questions about any part of your body. And then I get offended, like, I'm a whole person. I'm not the sum of my organs. So please be interested in me. And when I found homeopathy, and the homeopath I went to 2016 really was interested in me as a whole person, and my son, obviously, basically, I brought him first to homeopath. I was like, wow, somebody wants to know the whole story rather than just one segment of it. And the good news is that it's a side effect free, gentle way to restore the patient's health as efficiently and as permanently as possible. And it's been used for over 200 years. Samuel Hahnemann, who is on the picture, was a medical doctor who was not happy with the results he was getting as a medical doctor. So he started exploring the different herbs, how they can work when you potencize them, when you make them more strong. And he had more successes dealing and healing patients through that way than through the orthodox traditional medicine. So that's why he started to become more interested in that and developed homeopathy ever since then. And the good news is that you can use it acute situations. So what we discussed, like acute stress at work, but also chronic stress. So when it's going on for a number of years, and that could be something behind that. And it's safe for all ages. And you cannot tell the same thing for the traditional orthodox medicine. Homeopathy is safe, whether you are an elderly person, an adult, teenager, a child, a baby, a newborn, or somebody who is expecting your first baby, or somebody who wants to get pregnant and it's in the fertility process. It is safe and side effect free for everybody. And why homeopathy? So again, it's a big contrast between the homeopathic consultation and the orthodox consultation. The homeopathic consultation typically lasts around 1 to 2 hours. So it's very in-depth. It's like seeing a psychologist and a medical professional, because homeopathy is an art and a science together. And each prescription is tailored according to the individual's presenting symptoms. So if you have a headache, and I have a headache, you and me probably would be given 2 different medications, as opposed to if you go to the pharmacy, we all going to get paracetamol, the same thing. And this is true if another 10 people goes to homeopath with the same headache, but what's behind it could be completely different. So the likelihood they are going to be prescribed another 8 different types of homeopathic remedies is very high. And we're talking about over 6,000 different homeopathic remedies that we are working with here. So it's a very big tool, very big pool that we can choose the remedies from. And in worldwide, over 200 million people use homeopathy, of which around half of them live in the EU. And in the European countries, 95% in the European countries use homeopathy, and it's very popular. Not to mention the UK, when we know that the royal family is a big fan of homeopathy. Most private insurance companies cover some part of the homeopathic consultation as well as your normal GP, so you want to check it with them. They include great alternative options into the offerings these days. And homeopathy is basically available today in the present, but it's the future's medicine, because prevention as a future medicine. So whatever you have, it's easier to maintain than wait until something gets more serious and try to revert it back. Okay, so the first homeopathic remedies I would like to present to you and teach you is arnica. So no matter whom I've spoken to about homeopathy, and it's great that you heard about that, but people tend to hear the word arnica. They might not know it's homeopathic remedy, but the arnica sounds familiar to most people. So this is a herb. You can see in the corner, it's a very nice yellow herb, and it's in the mountains in Europe, Northern Asia, and the Americas. And the healing properties by the mountain climbers been known for many, many hundreds of years. Because when they were walking and they had muscle pains and strains, they were chewing on the leaves, and that gave them a relief. So now you know that arnica is great for physical pain, physical injury, when the body had a physical shock, or you went to the gym and you a little bit overstretch your muscles. It's great for muscle pain and exhaustion. When you feel physically tired, you just done too much running up and down and doing a lot of things, and you're physically tired. Also, it's a great sign when you obviously have something going on, but you say, I'm fine. When somebody says I'm fine and when they are clearly not, that's an indication for the remedy. And as a business aspect of arnica, when you are traveling a lot, especially across different time zones, arnica is the remedy to cope with jet lag easier. The next one is aconite, which is, in my opinion, the most useful remedies of all. Aconite is also a plant, and it grows in European and Central Asian mountains, and it originally was used to poison the tip of the arrow, and the akon means the dart, before hunting. So it wasn't just enough for the hunter to hurt the animal with the arrow, but with the poison at the end of it, definitely killed the animal. So this plant originally is poisonous, but when you make a remedy out of it, it actually removes the poisonous effect of it. The remedy itself is extremely powerful. So when you're experiencing something very strong and very sudden symptom, like headache and throat ache and tiredness or chills or fever, no matter what we're talking about, but if something comes on straight away, suddenly, 1 minute you're fine and the next minute you're just gone. You don't know what's happening. It's a different remedy when you are gradually experiencing some sort of decline in your well-being. One day you have a throat and the next day you are feeling tired. That's a different remedy. Aconite is when you have something going right away. So it's like anxiety. So if you have ever experienced anxiety, you probably don't know too much in advance that something is building up. It's just gone out of the blue, it's on. And that's when you need aconite. Aconite helped me quite some time in emergency situations. When I didn't know, I started panicking what to do. And before I could help others whom really needed help, my help, but because I started panicking, I couldn't help them. So I needed to take an aconite under my tongue, let it dissolve, and then I was able to think, calm down, and think clearly. So if you're experiencing nervousness, anxiety, and it could be before a presentation or job interview or a performance review or anything, sales interview, sales pitch, anything and everything where the stake is very high, and you need something to help. And most people maybe light a cigarette, or they have another, habit that they go through before they show up. But aconite is something that could give you the natural relief. And it's a great remedy for fear of flight. So I worked for Ryanair for so long, and as a cabin crew, I worked for 3 years. And Believe me, it sounds very funny, but after I had my two kids, I was the worst passenger ever. I had such a big fear of flight. So I used Aconite quite a lot before I was flying, alongside with another two remedies, and they were just wonderful. And I was just so calm during the whole flight. And if I hadn't known Aconite, I would have probably drinking a lot of like alcohol or taking some pills to take the edge off or something. But with Aconite, I was completely fine doing that. Okay, the last remedy that I'm going to present to you today is Nux vomica. Nux vomica is a great remedy for any digestive disturbances. And Nux vomica is an evergreen herbal remedy as well. And medicinal properties been known for so long and used since the 15th century. And Nux vomica is the remedy of workaholics, people who are burning the candle at both sides. They play hard, work hard, and it's non-stop. They're busy, they have a hectic life at home, hectic life at the business, and it just doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. They are all the time on the go, all the time doing something. But the effect of their hectic and busy lifestyle is a disturbance in the digestive system. So they have constipation, diarrhea, bloating, and a lot of things that you don't really like about yourself necessarily or people about you, like you are irritated and you feel a bit insensitive and you're impatient, you want everything today or preferably yesterday. So that's a remedy, and these are the key notes for someone who might be benefiting from this remedy. And believe me, I know from experience from my days when I was drinking, Nux vomica is the best hangover remedy ever. I was the worst when it comes to hangover. Even a lightest night out caused me at least 2 or 3 days in bed afterwards. But with Nux vomica, that period was shortened, or it could have been eased a little bit. So when I took Nux vomica, or when you take Nux vomica, it helps you to relieve, to get rid of the toxin easier or quicker. Okay. So where can you get those homeopathic remedies? So great news is that there are homeopathic pharmacies in Ireland. There is one in Dublin, George's Street, Antwerp, or in Sandymount, South Dublin. Or there is one in the UK, Helios, and you can order online. Obviously, I recommend you to know first what you're ordering. And my way of doing was to go to a homeopath first and have the consultation and listen to an advice, because homeopathy won't work if you don't know the basics. The good news is that the basics can be learned fairly quickly, and I can absolutely help you with that if you're interested in how. So here we come to the next step. So what is the possibility for you from here? So if you are interested, get in touch with me. And as I promised you, I'm still making myself available for a free 30-minute one-on-one online consultation. So write to me in the next 48 hours to book a time with me, info@archisland.com or 087-284-0277. Just make sure you do it within the next 48-hour window, and we have the time for your 30-minute completely free consultation. And after that consultation, I can give you some recommendations, what to do or where to go next. Okay? Or if you're like me, back in 2016 or 21, when I was just so desperate and ready for support and help right away, and you don't want to spend more time, money, and resources and energy on finding out different other solutions, and you know you're ready and you want to get the most support from me over the period of 3 months, I have a wonderful program available, the ZEN ZONE Wellbeing Life Coaching Program, and you can enroll to it right now. So if you are unsatisfied the way how the health system is working and the way how your progression looks like at the moment, and you want to reduce your stress and you want to be equipped with the right tools and techniques that would stay with you, you want to learn what they are, what works for you, and how you can manage your own health yourself, how you can control it, that's probably one of the signs, this is the right program for you. Also, if you want to maximize your health and become a lot happier and more successful version of yourself, and you want to work smarter rather than harder, and you want to be more energetic, and you want to have a better work-life balance and really be able to leave the job on time and make yourself available fully, mentally, emotionally, physically, for your family, friends, and your private life, and have more self-love for yourself, then this program is for you. So basically, if you want to live with less pain and a lot more joy in your life, so if any of these resonates with you, probably that's a sign that this program is what you need. So what's included in this program? So over a period of 3 months, we would meet either online or in person in Sundre, or we can arrange a place, like it's another topic, all one-on-one. And I can give you coaching, mentoring, consultation sessions. It's every 2 to 3 weeks. So 4 consultation sessions over the 3 months period. In addition to that, we do weekly video check-in and check-out to make sure that I provide a continuous health, mindset, and emotional support you need. I will also share regularly bite-sized meditation and breathing videos with guidance and guidelines to keep you motivated and on track. We will also do different self-love and self-developmental practices as part of our work. And periodically, as we agree, like nothing is compulsory, but there will be a lot of opportunities for you to maybe do a little bit of extra for yourself, like read a book or read a chapter of the book, and we can discuss it. So I have a lot of recommendations, and whatever is suitable for you in that period of time, wherever you are in your life, I will make sure that this is tailored to your needs, and we can work around that. So it's a wonderful offering, a wonderful program, and people who've been on this program have a lot to say about that. But before I move on to that, let's see what's not included. So I'm not going to give you any medical diagnosis, and it's not an emergency treatment. So everything that it's not falling into this category, I mean, these 2 categories, you will need to go to the GP and the emergency department. And by the way, keeping in touch with your GP and the medical doctor is always recommended whenever you are working with no matter what kind of alternative therapist. Bonus. So I have 3 bonuses, like the list was long enough what's in the program, but if you sign up to work with me and help me to support you, you also get a 100% Guatemalan ceremonial cacao supply for the first month of your program. So I went to Guatemala. I went to the source of chocolate. I wanted to know why the ceremonial cacao, which is, by the way, this beautiful thing here, is any better than the one that you can buy in the shops. And I'm telling you from experience that this is a big, big, big part, big tool in my toolbox that I've been using every single day to keep my mental, my emotional, my physical health on track. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that I have not been receiving any treatment for some time, apart from all the alternative, beautiful, holistic treatment. And I have been able to completely minimize my very, very active and very disturbing illness signs and symptoms. But again, that's another story. I am more than happy to share more how I did that, but you will experience it in your own experience if we work together. So when you are on the program, all the homeopathic remedies that you are recommended to take is it's included. You don't need to pay any extra, so there's no hidden cost at all. And if it wouldn't be enough, I also gave you an extra hour as a gift sound bathing session. It's a full massage through the sound, the vibration of the sound. So this is what other people told. This is others' opinion. It's not mine. Andrea's program will help anyone who is looking for a real and lasting change. After Andrea's session, I didn't just feel better about the bad situation, but I could also make those changes I hadn't dared to. Participating in Andrea's session was a real life-changing experience. I feel more confident about taking charge of my own life. I learned how to access my heart, and as a result, I have successfully transformed my stressful life into a peaceful life without any harmful external substance. And last but not least, I signed up for the course and a new world opened up for me immediately. Andrea is a wonderful teacher, coach, and mentor, and I would prescribe her to everybody who needs inspiration and shift to lead a happier and calmer life while succeeding in business and at home. I could see the difference in my performance, career, business, and relationships right away. So these are just some of the feedbacks I've received. And if you're ready to meet the new better version of yourself in less than 3 months, this is where you need to start. It starts with a one-time investment, which was valued over a value of 4,975 euros. This is so valuable, ladies. I cannot emphasize enough. By the way, can anyone put a price tag to your own health? It's just so difficult, isn't it? But if I needed to put, that's the value of the program I'm offering. It's available on my website for a special price of 1,795. So if you go on www.archisland.com, you can immediately sign up for that for this price, 1,795. And what I'm offering you, just to you today, and in the next 48 hours is a 999 euro one-time investment into your health, your well-being, and your future you. It's an 80% savings, basically. But this is a limited offer. It's not available on my website. It's not available anywhere else. So, and it's only available for the next 48 hours. So between now and noon, the 2nd of August, if you like to avail of this special price, which can 80% of discount, I can't believe that. It's so special and everything that I mentioned is included. So who is excited and who would like to do that? And you just need to say, yes, I'm in. So you can say, yes, I'm in the chat box, or you can send me an email. I will share my email details in a minute again. And once you do that, I will send you a payment link and we arrange your first call right away. You show up, you follow my recommendations, you can ask as many questions as you wish, and you will feedback your progress with me during that period of time. So basically, that's all what you need to do. info@archisland.com or www.archisland.com 087 284 0277. These are my contact details. And let me know if you have any questions now. I would be very happy to answer you. Any questions from the group? Okay, while you're writing your questions, I just tell you what normally people ask me. So can I sign up now and start at a later date? Absolutely can. So again, the special price offer ends at noon on the 2nd of August 2023. So you can sign up now by securing the special price offer for 999 euros, and you can start the program until the 15th of September. So you have a little bit of time if you're not ready yet, you have travel plans or anything else. Next one, when will those calls take place, as I'm unsure about my future schedule? Okay, so these are one-on-one calls, individually agreed. So we arrange it as we move along. So we either can put those 4 dates into our calendars right away, or we agree on one appointment and after again and after again. The only thing is I require at least 24 hours cancellation, but we agree on that when we start working together. Okay, is there any cancellation period? Well, this special price, right? I can't say it enough, it's only 999 euros. It is non-refundable. So once you make this payment, that's it. But at the same time, you right away get your hot cacao, your hot chocolate. So your treatment will start right away. I will post it to you. So you will get the benefit from the healing right away. Also, you will get those videos and you will get those recommendations and guidances. So you will get a lot of things for this very little one-time investment. And the last question, because I see the time is very going very fast, can I extend the term? So the program is designed for 3 months to start experiencing what is it that you need at this point in time and where you're going. But I am flexible, so if something happened or you needed to go away or illness or something, we can discuss it and add another few weeks or even an extra month to the term. That's no problem. Okay, again, if you have any questions, let me know, get in touch. Here are my contact details again. Thank you so much for your attention. Please feel free to share this video with those who you think would benefit from this information and program. And I'll hope that I see you on the 31st of August again at 1 o'clock UK time, when we will talk about different burning problems, female problems, UTIs, candida, thrush, stings, bites, honeymoon diseases. So it's going to be a very hot topic. And I hope I will welcome you back and I will see new faces as well. And if you watched the recording, please let me know your thoughts. And hopefully I see you again very soon, either on a free call or on the program. Okay, so thank you so much. Anybody would like to say anything or write anything to me live, just let me know. I stop